Welcome to the Selling with Influence podcast, where we show you how to sell more of your products and services consistently, predictably, and profitably without having to offer discounts, quote lower margins, or compete on price in a race to the bottom just to get the business. My name is Duane, founder and CEO of Influence Seminars, and I am your host. Hello and welcome back to the Selling with Influence podcast. My name is Duane, founder and CEO of Influence Seminars, and I'm your host. And today, I'd like us to focus on the I in the acronym of influence, which comes from Selling with Influence. And if you haven't yet, run over to the website, sellingwithinfluence.com, and you'll get a quick overview about Selling with Influence, what's involved, and kind of how it all works together. But the I stands for increasing aligned value. And here's what I mean by that. We've all heard it. It's become cliche. It's become a buzzword. Add value, add value, add value, add value, add value. But very few people know how to do it successfully. And I believe it's because we're not offering things that the customer, buyer, prospect actually values in the first place. Here's what I mean by that. I had a conversation with one of my mentors, John Maxwell. I may have alluded to this on a past episode, but we were having a conversation. I asked him, I said, what is influence in the context of selling? And he said, it's when we add value to the lives of people. But have you ever noticed that when you try to do something, give something, offer something, create, buy something, or add something to your product or service to try to get the customer to commit, that they're like, we don't want it. We don't need it. No, thank you. We'll go get our business somewhere else, or we'll go get the product or service somewhere else. We've all been there if we've been in sales at any amount of time. And the reason is we didn't add aligned value, aligned with what they already value. So let's talk about how to do that specifically. You know, one of the things that if you've taken any form of sales training, or if you've been successful at sales on any level, one of the things that we have to do successfully is connect, build relationship, and build trust with our buyer, our customers, our clients, our prospects. And many people go about that in several different ways. Some of us are very people-centric, very people-oriented. Some of us do it logically and methodically. And some of us accidentally stumble into it. And that's how it happened for me. In the beginning of my sales career, when I was, not the beginning of my sales career, but like the 7th year when I was at Verizon Wireless, I actually stumbled across how to really connect, build relationship, and trust with people. And the way it happened was, and I've told the story in the past, but I'll share it again. I wasn't feeling good one morning whenever I went into the Verizon Wireless store to start my shift. And I went in about 12 o'clock. I had an 8-hour shift, so I had the morning to kind of get myself together. And for the first time in my life, I took a product known as DayQuil. Now, you've heard of NyQuil. Maybe you've taken NyQuil. And helps you sleep at night whenever you're not feeling good, right? Well, DayQuil is supposed to get you through your day by relieving symptoms as well. And on the package, it says, don't take more than 4 of these in a 12-hour or in a 24-hour period. And I think I had taken 4 of them before 12 noon when I had to go into my shift. So I'm feeling no pain. All the things that used to annoy me, the phone calls, the customers asking the same questions, the billing issues, all that kind of stuff was not bothering me this day. And I accidentally stumbled across how to sincerely connect, build relationship, trust, bond, get people talking, because that day, nothing was bothering me. I was patient. I had nowhere to be. I wasn't aggravated. I was just chill. And I can remember customers coming in that day, and I'd simply say, hey, how's it going? Talk to me. What is it that you're looking for? What have you tried in the past? Where do you guys travel? Where do you need your cell phone to work? And I just listen. And I was not in a hurry. And whenever they'd finish, I'd say, well, tell me more. What else? What are your thoughts on this? How have you guys done this? Hey, what do you guys do? Where are you from? Oh my goodness, I'm from there too. Anyway, I started to learn to have conversation and set my own personal agenda to sell something aside. And the information I would gather from each and every customer not only helped me to understand how to sell them, but it lowered their walls. It built trust. And even if they didn't buy from me, they would send tons of referrals. And many times when I'd push them away and say, you need to go to the competition, they'd come back and say, Duane, just let us try. Nobody else is taking care of us the way you did. And I stumbled into it. It was an accident, right? But it's so important to realize that whenever we do that and the customer lowers their walls and they become more in tune with us, they're going to start to share every single thing that we ever need to know to align the value with them. They're going to tell us where they spend their time, where they spend their money, where they spend their effort, what they hate, what they don't like, what's bothered them in the past, what they've valued, what they just, if they tell you what they love or what they like, they're also telling you what they don't like, and vice versa, right? And so when we start to understand that, and if we build a good enough relationship and the walls are lowered, then I can simply, if you're a good customer of mine, or if we've been through a sales process and at this point you really trust me, I can simply put my pen down. I can lean back in my seat and say, hey, listen, we've talked about a lot of stuff. We've done this, and this. We've talked about this. But let me just make sure I'm 100% clear. What is it about this product, this service, this solution, this problem you're trying to solve? What is it that you truly want to see happen? What's success look like? What do you value in the situation? And if I've built a strong enough relationship, they will actually tell me, because their guards are down, and they have no hesitation, and they know I have their best interests at heart. But what if you're not in that place? How do you know how to add aligned value, how to increase the aligned value? Because we're talking about the I in influence, right? How do you know how to increase the aligned value that you're adding? Well, many times history will tell you. What have customers in the past valued? Now, you don't know if this specific individual will value that, but that's a place to start. You can say, hey, look, a lot of my customers, or a lot of the people who have worked with us, really like this piece, or really like this result, or this benefit. Is that something that's valuable to you, or is there something else you were hoping for? So history of past customers. Research. Literally getting online and spending time in social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and really getting to understand the conversation that people are having out there around your industry, around your product, around your service, and do what one of my mentors, David Newman, called an active listening campaign, to where you really just do research and you start to see trends, and you get involved and you ask questions, or you respond to people who are having issues or asking questions, and they're writing reviews, or they're commenting on some of your competition's post, right? So research, listening, watching, observing, seeing trends. Another way you can do it is to ask people on your sales team who have dealt with your customer, or who have been selling longer than you, or ask your manager or the business owner, or somebody who's been in the industry and has seen the trends of what people tend to value. Again, these are just pieces of the puzzle and the equation that you can piece together, but they're great for good starting questions, for investigating, for potential problems or challenges that the customer will face, for anticipating things. So when the customer says, I think I want this over here, you can say, hey, that sounds great. Have you considered this over here? Have you considered what this might be if it turns out this way? And it gives you the ability to be insightful, innovative, and to kind of see in the future for your customer or your buyer. And when you do that, they're like, no, I've never thought about that. That would be amazing. Or, you know what? I never thought about that. Thanks for helping me avoid that pitfall. Hope this makes sense, right? So you can build a relationship. Sometimes that takes a while. But if you're really good at building a relationship and setting people at ease, you can simply come out and ask them, what do you want? What do you need? What do you expect? What do you value? And they'll tell you. Or you can do research, or you can get involved in conversations, or ask somebody who has sold before you, who sold longer than you in the industry, or the business owner. Or I'll give you a perfect example. On my podcast, I'm doing interviews, and one of the gentlemen that I'm going to be interviewing was a client of mine years ago, and I've kept up with him. And he's outside of my industry, but he's in sales. He's been in the IT space, and he's got a lot of wisdom and experience. He's even been a business owner. And when the interview comes up, one of the things that we're going to be focusing on, because I want his perspective and his insight and his wisdom on this, is the conversation we're going to have is going to be around prospecting. Cold prospecting, reaching out to people that you do not know, but you can serve and add value to in a social media driven world. I do it my way, but he's been doing it so much longer than me that I really want his expertise so I can fine tune. And it's just a perfect example of asking, what have you done that's successful? What does success look like? How do people receive it? So that I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I don't have to guess. I don't have to try to add value to people in a way that they do not value. And reaching out to people cold, if you do it the right way, it's welcomed. If you do it the wrong way, well, you've been there, right? Anyway, so that's the I in influence. If you want the full scope and perspective, run over to sellingwithinfluence.com. You'll see an overview. It's like 16 minutes long. And while you're there, grab the free training that I have there on how to sell more consistently, predictably, and profitably without having to offer discounts, compete in a race to the bottom, or compete on price. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're a sales manager, take that and play it for your sales team in your next meeting and start a productive conversation. So until we talk next time, that is the I in influence, increase aligned value. And remember, you can write your own ticket in sales. Unlike any other professional role, you just have to be willing to increase your influence. Talk soon. Bye-bye.